everybody, it's Adam and Danger here with Sports Capitalist coming at you to break down our Thanksgiving slate, primarily on DraftKings here is what we'll talk about. Danger's coming at us from sunny California, traveling for the holidays, so
Very
takes things
sunny
with
if you can't
sunglasses.
tell.
Yeah, it's not just an accessory choice, it's a
Yeah,
necessity based on where he's at.
yeah,
So
absolutely right now.
Before we get started breaking down the Thanksgiving slate, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you click those alerts. That's going to do two things for you. The first is going to be it's going to uh, change your algorithm on the YouTube page. I'm still working on that lead in. Change your algorithm on the YouTube page so that you see our videos and videos like it, and then also you'll get notified right away of when our videos drop, and not just ours, but we started doing NBA and we'll start doing some other sports here down the line. So make sure you do that. It's a good way to grow our YouTube channel in addition to our Discord, which, by the way, you can go join. The link will be in the description, and it is 100% free. There's no bait and switch, no monthly membership fees. It's just a bunch of people talking about daily fantasy, general gambling picks. And so go ahead and give us a follow there. If you want our final numbers before every kickoff, single games, other sports, baseball, basketball, tennis, things like that, you can go ahead and give us a follow on there. So let me take a sip real quick before we
No,
get started
no
here.
problem. While you're taking that sip, I also just want to give a fair warning to everyone, since I'm usually the one that records this stuff with the software. As you can probably tell, I'm not in my usual setup, so the video might be a little wonky. And another thing you may notice is the information that we're using right now. This is our internal stuff. We thought that it would be great to show it to everyone for the first time. Adam also has his own internal numbers, but this is the thing that you see below is also going to be completely free from Sports Capitalist Discord. It usually shows up like the day or morning of the games, so definitely check
Mm-hmm.
that out. And we're gonna go over the Thanksgiving slate.
That's right. So we got three games tomorrow. These are all going to be Eastern Time kickoffs. The Chicago Bears are visiting the Detroit Lions for their normal Thanksgiving showdown. The Las Vegas Raiders will visit the Dallas Cowboys at 4:30, and the Buffalo Bills will take on the New Orleans Saints at 8:20 Eastern Time. So some good opportunities there. Uh, Me personally, I do pretty well on the Thanksgiving slate. I like the slates that have multiple games. So like the Thanksgiving slate, and then when they usually do the Monday night, and they have two games on the first week of Monday Night Football, I like to do well there because there's some good pivot opportunities
Yeah,
to get off chalk as opposed to just the single game slates.
yeah.
So we're going to go position by position, starting off with the quarterbacks. Uh, and again, there's a more limited pool because there's only three games, so six starting quarterbacks. So the six to choose from on this slate, and it will also depend on the injury report. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Andy Dalton is going to get the start for the Chicago Bears in place of Justin Fields. Trevor Siemian will start for the Saints, and then at the moment, Jared Goff is on track to play on Thanksgiving. But if he doesn't, then Tim Boyle will draw another start for the Lions. So, Danger, who do you like on the quarterback side?
So like we're going off of DraftKings. And if you guys see me looking down a lot, it's because my second screen is below below me where I'm recording.
Yeah.
I feel like for this slate, man, you have to go expensive. You either have to go Josh Allen or Dak Prescott here, and that's even
Mm-hmm.
scary to say because each of these teams this week, it's like the worst iteration of them. Like we don't know what kind
Mm-hmm.
of team we're gonna get Buffalo during you know what I mean? Are we gonna get
Yeah.
the 14 and 5 turnovers, or are we gonna get the 41 and a point team every game? Dak Prescott,
Yeah.
the whole offense is on the IR pretty much. I mean
Yeah.
the Dallas IR makes a really impressive team just by themselves. I mean, yeah, man. So and Chicago's a mess. And oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. I mean, I think you can go as low as Trevor Siemian, but because again, the defense on Buffalo is extremely weak. But again, that
Mm-hmm.
is a Kamara-less team. But yeah, Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. That's where my eyes are right now.
Yeah, I think Allen's the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
And even though he plays the night game on the Thanksgiving slates, I think people like to try and play some of the earlier guys, which might give a little bit of advantage there. But I think Josh Allen is such the obvious play there,
Yeah.
that he's going to be highly owned, and rightfully so. And I would still play Josh Allen in cash. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Dak Prescott. They got a lot of guys on IR.
Yeah, his two.
I know Cooper's out still. CD Lamb, I think they're still hoping will pass concussion
Yeah,
protocol.
still very questionable
Um,
though for him.
yeah, still questionable on a short week for concussion protocol. That doesn't look terribly promising. I think Dak Prescott has more rushing upside than Josh Allen because we just haven't seen it
Really?
from
Okay.
Josh Allen this season.
Oh,
Um,
true.
I think one of my picks this past Sunday was Josh Allen. It was like I picked under 34 and a half rushing yards or something like that, which you would think for normal Josh Allen would be a slam dunk for the over. But this season, it just hasn't been there. And he only had like 18 rushing yards in a
Yeah.
game where they were playing from behind against the Colts. They got absolutely spanked. And then Dak Prescott, even though they were missing Cooper, that offense just looked awful. And we talked about it on our last video. I mean, that was a game that I was attacking because it was an
Yeah.
over under of 56,
I mean,
which is the highest that we'd seen in a while.
yeah, everyone
And
was going after that game. Like we
it
thought
wasn't
CD
even
Slam.
close.
Yeah, we thought CD Lamb was going to be a slam dunk,
Yeah,
but
I mean, it wasn't even close to hitting the over. It was
yeah.
like 19-9 or something. Just a bad game there. In terms of value guys, gosh, I've picked Derek Carr twice as my value guy of the week, and it just hasn't worked out. That
No, it
offense just
hasn't.
doesn't. It just hasn't been there. So I'm hesitant to do it, even though my rankings at the moment are saying that Derek Carr is third. I'd almost rather play Andy Dalton over Derek Carr. I'd rather save
Man,
the 400.
I was about to
Um,
ask, do we have like any faith in the Chicago Detroit game? I I'm
so
going to hate watch this game so bad, dude, cuz like it's going to be
I'm gonna
as
watch it.
yeah, it's going to be as dysfunctional as your like Thanksgiving dinner with your family.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah,
just like the drama that's happening behind this, a winless Detroit team, but with quarterback issues. Same exact thing happening
yeah,
with Chicago Bears and all the drama that's going with Matt Nagy. Dude, like the whole
yeah,
city of Chicago hates him right now. And
yeah. And there's a report that came out that reportedly this may be very well be Matt Nagy's last game as head coach
yeah,
of the Chicago Bears. That they
that's
might actually just fire him on Thanksgiving, which
that's
would be rough.
crazy, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're good GPP options. I think Andy Dalton's a good GPP option because I
Okay.
think he can. I think he's got enough upside against the Lions defense. Um, and I've been talking about it, but eventually the Lions got to get their first win. So if Jared Goff plays, I don't hate him at 5,100.
I
So my official value play at quarterback this week would be Andy Dalton.
okay.
But you mentioned Trevor Simeon. How are you feeling about him?
I don't think it's that bad. Like the receiver core is fairly healthy. He is
Mm-hmm.
a good quarterback. Like we've seen him in the past like 5 games or how many games, and he's been solid. I mean, nothing special, but he makes plays. He gets the touchdown passes. And he's only five
Yeah.
hundred dollars more than Jared Goff and $100 more than Andy Dalton, and
Mm-hmm.
against a very suspect Buffalo defense.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think it's worth it, man. I think Trevor Simeon is worth it.
Yeah. I think the logic's there. I would rather play Andy Dalton personally,
Gotcha.
but I could see
Yeah,
the logic there.
yeah, not that I don't have faith in Andy Dalton. I just don't have faith in whatever the hell is going on in Chicago right now. Like,
Yeah.
I know they're
Yeah.
going against the Detroit Lions, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's move on over to the running backs then. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Kamara is like 99% out this week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but that leaves. I mean, there's a lot of still decent quarterbacks that, I mean, not quarterbacks, running backs that we can go with on here.
Yeah, yeah, and I think so. When you talked about is there anybody in this Bears Lions game that you're interested in, it's a good segue into the running backs.
Yeah.
Um, for those of you that might be new to watching, uh, games with lower over unders tend to favor running backs. The Bears Lions, to no surprise, is the lowest over under on the Thanksgiving slate at 41.5. So among all players, not just running backs, but DeAndre Swift and David Montgomery are 6 and 7 on the entire slate, respectively, on my model. So I think this is a good game to attack the running backs, especially if you want to save some money from Ezekiel Elliott. Not that Elliott's a bad play going against the Raiders by any means,
Yeah.
but I do like DeAndre Swift and David Montgomery from the uh, Bears Lions game. I think that they provide some interesting options. And then he's he's been there before, so don't sleep on Jamal Williams on Thanksgiving Day if you want a more narrative based pick. There's guys that have done it on Thanksgiving before, and they tend to go that way. I would always play LeGarrette Blount when he was playing in Detroit on Thanksgiving, and it would work out every single time. So those are some good narrative based picks. Any guys that are sticking out to you other than kind of those obvious three?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zeke is too expensive at 8 grand. I think the reason why he's priced that way is because the receiver core is gone pretty much um from the Cowboys. So they're probably
Yeah.
gonna they're probably gonna get Zeke and Tony Pollard into the like passing game for sure. Because who is it?
Yep.
It's like Williams, Gallup, and like I don't even know who the third person is, but that might.
Uh, Wilson, is that his last
Is
name?
that
I
his
think
Wilson?
Wilson.
Yeah,
I
Cedric
think so.
Wilson, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, and he was in a lot during Gallup's absence. So I mean we when we get to wide receivers, I'll bring that up later. But
Hmm.
um, the two that I'm actually really looking at because I think they're decently priced is going to be Mark Ingram and David Montgomery.
Mm.
Montgomery didn't do anything last week, and I mean, but man, Buffalo has just shown time and time again that they don't have a run defense. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying Mark Ingram is Kamara or Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry, but I mean
Hmm.
like teams are gonna like see this and be like, well, these guys like this team's super vulnerable on the run, and get Mark
Hmm.
Ingram involved. So I'm and he's decently priced at what I think he's a decent floor, but I mean a high ceiling for the guy. I think Mark Ingram, and they're also going to get him involved in the passing game too.
Yeah.
What about you? Are
Yeah.
you
I
seeing
think
anyone in the green that were? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so. Yeah. So the one guy that you mentioned that I'm really interested in this week specifically is Tony Pollard. Um, I think he gets a ton of work in the passing game this week with all the injuries that they have. DraftKings, is saying that the Raiders are giving up a ton of points to running backs in
Yeah.
general. So when you add in that passing game, essentially the same arguments that you would make for playing Zeke in terms of missing wide receivers and all that kind of stuff, you could save a ton of money and play
Yeah.
Tony Pollard, and he's almost got the same upside as Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm very interested in playing him, especially as an option to get off the Ezekiel Elliott chalk, and then that's going to free you up to go grab maybe if you were playing Josh Allen or some of the more expensive guys that we'll get into later. I think he's a good option there.
I actually don't
Um,
think it's half bad to stack Zeke and Pollard just
yeah,
to get that whole
I don't hate that idea.
yeah, just to get the whole run offense. If you think the game is just going to be extremely run heavy, which
Yeah.
very well could be the game plan coming into this
Hmm.
game if CD Lamb doesn't start play. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it is the highest over under on the slate, the
Yeah.
Cowboys Raiders game at 51.5. So if you think there's some passing work to be done, or if you think the Cowboys just start to run away with it, then yeah, um, I don't mind stacking those two guys at all. And he hasn't been crazy impressive in recent weeks, but I don't hate Josh Jacobs' price at 5,900. I
Mm,
think I'd rather play Tony Pollard and save a little bit of money, but um, and I certainly don't like him better than Swift or Montgomery. But I don't hate that price. Is all I'll say on that front.
gotcha.
But yeah, I think the ones I'm most interested in on the slate would be Swift and Montgomery and Tony Pollard.
Swift, Montgomery, and Tony Pollard. Right on. All right. Hard to argue with that. Moving on to the wide receivers, and there's just tons of options this week. And I think there's actually,
Mm-hmm.
I think the wide receivers are where people are going to go to like save money on their lineups here because I think there's a lot of good picks here that are decently priced. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, go ahead and start us off, Adam.
Yeah, so the obvious number one is going to be Stephon Diggs, especially if you're playing Josh Allen. You're going to want to stack him with Stephon Diggs. He's actually um, among non-quarterbacks. Stephon Diggs is my number one player on the slate at the moment. So if you're playing Josh Allen, whether you're playing Josh Allen or not, I think Stephon Diggs is a great play, and I think he's very safe in terms of cash. Um, I think a lot of people are going to trend towards Michael Gallup with all the injuries and everything.
Yeah,
The Raiders secondary, it just isn't good at the moment, so I don't hate it. But I think a very interesting pivot option off of him is Darnell Mooney. Um,
yeah.
he he's $200 less. He's shown that he's still very much involved in this offense, especially if Allen Robinson is out again, which he's doubtful at the moment. So
Ooh, okay.
um, so if you're really looking for one of those GPP stacks, going back to a guy I mentioned earlier, if you want to stack Andy Dalton and Darnell Mooney, that could be. I think that's got more upside than a lot of people would think. So I actually, you could probably play both at their price, but I would probably prefer Darnell Mooney over Michael Gallup this week, just because I think Gallup's going to be way higher owned between the two of them. Um, and then I'll get into some value guys later. But how are you feeling on the wide receiver side?
Yeah, I agree with you on Stephon Diggs. I mean, of course, the other two, three, four people that are on here are probably injured or not going to play. You know, CD with
Yeah.
a concussion, Cooper with the COVID, and Allison with the doubtful. I definitely
Hmm.
do like Mooney. I mean, because I should have mentioned this on the other show because I was thinking about it in my head because like we brought up Robinson and we are like, oh,
Hmm.
this is the time he's going to get involved. But then we're like, well, if it wasn't Robinson, who is getting involved? And that's obviously Mooney for like the
Hmm.
past like several weeks. I yeah, that's on me. Should have brought that up. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he had like what 16 targets like last week. Absolutely crazy. I think, and even when Dalton went in, he was the guy to go to. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think Mooney is the backup. I'm not too hot on Gallup. Uh, I I don't I don't know. I just don't think the value is there. I'm okay with Renford, even though I think Stephon
Hmm.
Diggs is just going to be on him the whole night because he's basically all of the him and Wall. Actually, he might be on Waller the whole night. I'm actually liking Renford here too. But yeah,
Yeah.
pivoting to the value picks, I do have four quick ones.
Okay.
I do like Callaway. I do like my
Hmm.
boy Sanders. They somehow just gotta get Cole Beasley involved in this offense, right? Like, am I crazy? Like
Hmm.
they don't run the ball.
No, no, I think Cole Beasley and again, if you want another narrative pick, Cole Beasley on Thanksgiving Day,
Oh
you
really?
can load him up, and I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
You know what, man? Those weird wacky stats of like the narrative stats, like
Hmm.
there's something to it. I don't know. They're surprisingly more accurate than other stats for some reason. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Go with Cole Beasley, and I mentioned him earlier, Cedric Wilson. I mean,
Hmm.
he had the Gallup role when he was out, and he has been doing surprisingly well, even with for the target share that he was getting. You know, when CD Lamb and Cooper was in. But man,
Yeah.
I love him at that price. What was it again? I can't see. 3,500 with
35.
yeah.
Yep.
He's going to get some targets, but I don't think Gallup or Wilson here are going to be the number one receiving target for this offense, and yeah,
Do you
that's
think
gonna.
they're going to go to more the running backs?
I think they're gonna go to the tight end. I think it's gonna go to Dalton Schultz,
Ah,
dude.
okay.
But
Well, a little preview of things to
yeah,
come then.
yeah,
I'll touch on two guys, two value guys that I like that you didn't mention because
yeah.
I do like the guys that you mentioned, specifically Beasley and Wilson. But two other guys that I really like, Deontay Harris for the New Orleans Saints. He's actually ranking above Callaway for me
Really?
at
Okay.
the moment. Yep. So I really like Deontay Harris as a value play this week. And then Brian Edwards, I faded him. It was either last week or the week before on a primetime game in the single game slate, and he ended up having a really good game because he hadn't done anything up until that point. But he's seen a very sharp increase in snaps ever since Ruggs left the team.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I don't mind Brian Edwards as a value play either. But if I'm ranking, my top three kind of value plays among the guys that we've talked about, I would go Beasley, Cedric Wilson, Deontay Harris.
Gotcha. Do we have any love for Deshaun Jackson?
No.
Okay. I don't either. I was just thinking about it like the back of my head because it's like, man, he's good for like one deep bomb that could potentially go into a touchdown, but like,
Yeah, he just yeah, that's a real lottery scratch off ticket kind of
yeah,
play.
true.
Um, I just there's just so much that could go wrong by playing him that I'm not. I think there's other value of guys that can actually get there without having to worry about one Hail Mary 70-yard touchdown from Deshaun Jackson.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to our tight ends,
Hmm.
and yeah, I mean, I'll just start off from where I was talking about earlier. I think the number one option here is definitely going to be Dalton Schultz, man.
Hmm.
He has shown to have chemistry with Dak in the past, and especially with CeeDee Lamb and Cooper out, I think he's going to be the number one option. He was the number one option last week too, when CeeDee Lamb
Hmm.
went out. But yeah, I mean, he was like the only one that they could cover. I think this is a slam dunk. Lock Schultz in for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What are
Yeah.
you thinking
So
on the
I'm
tight end side?
I'm gonna I like Schultz, but he's actually showing as my number two tight end.
It's the number one
The
Waller.
number one's Waller,
Yeah.
but not just that, because that would be the obvious like duh, because it's
Yeah.
Darren Waller. But among the entire slate, when you're talking, because again, if you're new to the videos, my model not only takes projected fantasy points, but counts that against their salary and their projected roster percentage. So among the entire slate, quarterbacks, wide receivers, everything, Darren Waller is ranked number three for me on the entire slate. Um, so behind Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. So uh, my model is saying that Darren Waller is well worth his price at 6,400. And if you're playing some of those other value guys that we talked about, at running back and wide receiver and everything, you could certainly afford him. Um, but I think the tight end slate is, I think it's tough because
It's slim. Yeah.
among these, no, I don't think it's. I think it's deep, and I think that's the
Oh,
problem.
really?
Because I could see scenarios where all of these guys work out. Waller and Schultz that we talked about for obvious reasons. If Goff plays, I could see a big game for T.J. Hawkinson.
Mm.
Um,
And
Cole
he's
Kmet,
it looks like he's scheduled to play too.
yeah. So I could see that working out, even though I like Schultz better than Hawkinson. Um, Cole Kmet, he wasn't very involved in the game this past Sunday, but
No.
when Andy Dalton came in, his targets skyrocketed. Um, comparatively to, obviously it's hard comparatively to when Fields was in, he wasn't doing much. But now that Andy Dalton's the quarterback, I could see a scenario where if you needed to save that money on tight end, Cole Kmet, and then Dawson Knox is always a threat to find the end zone, just with how Buffalo's offense is structured. So um, honestly, those five guys, I could see scenarios where all of them play out. Um,
Yeah.
I think Waller and Schultz are the safest. I'll say that they're easily the safest. But if you're talking GPP, I could see a scenario where and Hawkinson is more based on if Jared Goff plays. But I could see scenarios where all of those guys end up being the tight end one on the slate because maybe they find the end zone and the other guys don't. Um, and so I think the tight end's a little tougher on this slate because I think I don't think there's like, so again, Waller and Schultz are the slam dunk options. They're the safest, but I think there's deeper options that could work out, especially in GPPs if they find the end zone and maybe the other guys don't.
Yeah, I guess the reason why I said it was slim is because I think the other ones are just too unsafe for my liking. Like I
Hmm.
think isn't Troutman out? Knox is super red zone dependent.
Hmm.
Hawkinson, I mean, even if Hawkinson's value does obviously go up if Goff plays, but it's like it's still the Detroit Lions, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but they're going against a wacky Chicago Bears. I have no idea what's going on with that team. And
Yeah.
yeah, targets were there for Colt, but like he didn't catch anything at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like, man, yeah. That's why I think it's slim. Honestly, dude, like I wouldn't even mind starting both Waller and Schultz as like the tight end or a flex because I think
Yeah.
targets are going to go to them.
Hmm. I
But
don't hate that at all.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that those are my thoughts on the tight ends. We don't
Yeah.
I don't see a defense on here. But do you have something pulled up on your end or your numbers?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
All right.
And so defense is all, it's going to be tough because they're all very similarly priced.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just go through them real quick.
Well, here, let me start my one. And I'm keeping the trend of the last like 3 weeks.
Oh yes,
Start the Lions, man.
start the Lions,
Start the
baby.
Lions.
Unless you're playing Andy Dalton, yes,
Yeah.
start the Lions.
Start
So
them,
yes,
man.
the in order of most expensive to least expensive, the Dallas Cowboys are 3,300. The
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills are 3,100. The Chicago Bears are 3,000. The New Orleans Saints are 2,900, and the Detroit Lions and Las Vegas Raiders are both 2,400. Um, so yes, the Lions, you know, is a good value play if you absolutely need those salary cap savings. I think the obvious one that people are going to trend to will be the Bills at 3,100.
Oh,
Um,
really? I thought it would be like the Bears, maybe.
that could very well be it too. The Bears at the moment are ranked as the best defense of the six in my
Okay.
model. Um, Now, maybe that changes a little bit if Jared Goff is a confirmed start, but um, at the moment, the Chicago Bears, I would probably rather play over the Buffalo defense just based on what we've seen from Buffalo in recent weeks. Um, and then I just I know we've not had luck with Derek Carr as a value, but
Yeah.
I think 3,300 for Dallas's defense is a real tough price to eat.
Yeah.
Um, I'd rather go Chicago, Buffalo, or Detroit. Um, and I'm not really at all interested in the Saints or the Raiders defenses unless you want to take a gamble on the Bills or Cowboys offenses just completely falling on their faces.
I think yeah. I
Um,
was like, I think the safer gamble would be the Saints defense against what kind of Bills shows up that day because they're on the road too. Oh man,
yeah.
it's at New Orleans too.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
not a bad dude. I don't think it's half bad honestly.
Yeah. And
It's
I
tough
think it's
playing there.
weird that they're 2,900. I think it's very weird that they are 2,900 playing the Bills.
I don't
That's a weird pricing to me that suggests that maybe DraftKings thinks they're a little better than what they actually
or
are.
Buffalo is worse just from
Yes,
recency bias or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
could go the other way around too. But yeah, I think that the two safest defenses will be the Bears and the Bills. So whichever way you want to go there, I would lean the Bears primarily because on the defensive side, you want to try and go for games with lower over unders, and the Chicago Detroit game is the lowest over under on the slate. So the Bears defense would be where my lean would be at the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I I'll just, like I said, I'll continue to try to go in with the Lions, man. They're the cheapest. They're going
Yeah,
against a really dysfunctional team right now, and
that's a
and
GPP play for sure.
yeah, and they're at home too. So I mean, who
Hmm.
knows? Maybe the stars could align. And if we're going off of that, the weird narrative thing, Detroit Lions have the most wins when they play on Thanksgiving.
Hmm. Take that for what you will.
Yeah,
If
man, take it for what you will, man. The
if
foot,
if
the
Goff plays, if
yeah,
Goff plays Detroit at home on Thanksgiving, I think they get their first win of the year.
yeah. The football gods smile upon Detroit on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but
Well, and even last year, I think they were playing David Blau on Thanksgiving, and I don't think he did too badly either. I think there's some sort of Detroit magic on Thanksgiving that gives them. I don't think that they won, but they at least didn't get absolutely
slaughtered.
demolished.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. Yeah. So,
Well, you heard it
going
here.
off of that,
Well, you heard it
yeah,
here. Magic is real.
yeah, exactly. Lock it in. Do you do you want to go through our rapid fire of the over under and the spread like we started doing in the last
Yeah,
video?
man. The gut check gamble. Let's go.
All right. All right, so we'll start with Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions. The over/under is 41.5. Danger, over or under?
Oh, dude, that's an under.
I think that's an under.
I think that's an under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under on that game as well. In the same game, Chicago is a 3-point road favorite. What do you think?
Give me the points. Detroit. I
Yep,
think.
give
I
me
think. I
Detroit to
yeah.
cover as
I think
well.
they. I think they win this game for sure.
Yeah, yep. Um, so both of us, Chicago, Detroit, the under, and Detroit with the points. So we
Closeted
both go with that one.
Lions fans here for sure.
Exactly, exactly. I want them to win so badly. All right,
Yeah.
next up, the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the Dallas Cowboys. The over/under is 51.5, so that's the highest on the slate. Over or under?
Uh, you know what? I'm gonna say under on this one. I
Well,
I yeah, like again, Dallas's offense is on the IR.
mm-hmm.
They're at Dallas, so I don't think Vegas is gonna get anything running. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna go under on this.
I'm going to go under on that as well. And then Dallas is a 7.5 point home favorite in that game. Do you think they
Oh,
cover?
yeah, I think they cover. Yeah, Dallas.
You
Yeah,
think so?
yeah, man, put 14 on that for sure.
Yeah, that half point is killing me. But yeah, I think ugh. Yeah, Dallas at home on Thanksgiving, 7.5. Yeah, I'll take the favorite there. All right, and then finally, the Buffalo Bills are visiting the New Orleans Saints. The over/under is 45.5, so right in the middle there. Danger,
Ooh,
over or under?
I would have to say, man, let me think. Give, give me New Orleans, man. Like, give me over under. Give
Over
me
under
give
first,
me give
yeah.
me give me over.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go under just because we've been in agreement on all of them so far.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the under on that game.
We need
Um,
we need to have our editor be like, give, like editor, look at our last video and see and tally the points on who was right. That
yeah,
won't take
yeah.
any time.
I might still, yeah, exactly. I probably will do it before we do our main slate video here
Oh, okay,
in
cool.
a couple of days. So I'll tally them up and see where we were at. I can tell you right now, I was way wrong on the Cowboys Chiefs game.
Yeah.
So
I
that was
was I
that
was
was a
so
bummer.
close. I was messaging you over the weekend. I was like, you could see me hesitating on like choosing the Vikings for the money line. I was like, I think this is
Yeah,
Vikings game, man. But
yeah. I swung you the wrong way on that, and
yeah,
I apologize.
no,
And
dude.
then finally, the spread in that game, the Buffalo Bills are 6 point road favorites.
Oh, man, give me points, New Orleans. I
I'm gonna
I
take the points there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna off a bounce back week. I'm gonna take Buffalo to cover on that one.
Okay, so we found
Um,
our difference maker game.
yeah, the Bill Saints game, the game I'm sure everybody is super excited about.
Yeah,
Do any of these games
it's probably
excite you at all?
honestly, like I said, I'm gonna hate watch the Chicago Detroit game.
Yeah,
Um,
that's honestly kind of the one I'm most excited about.
I think,
Honestly,
yeah, man, I think that game's just gonna be a whole fiesta, bro. Like it's just
Yeah.
gonna be like 20 turnovers in the first half. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we're looking for like good old football Americana, I I guess Cowboys versus Raiders is what you would have to go to. You
Yeah.
know, America's team versus the like, I don't know what you want to call the
Yeah.
Raiders now. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's gonna be a great game too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Last thing I want to throw in. I didn't run this by you before we started the video,
No,
but
you're.
I'm going to do it anyway since
Oh,
we're
right
live.
on, man.
Uh,
Call an audible.
favorite favorite Thanksgiving food in general.
Oh, dude, it's got to be the pumpkin pie, man.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Pumpkin pie is a hot topic. A lot of people don't.
I know, man.
There seems to be a lot of people that don't like it. I
Strong
love it. I think it's
strong
great.
opinions, dude, on pumpkin
Yeah.
pie for some reason.
Yep. I'm gonna give one that a lot of people aren't gonna say as their favorite, and mine is green bean casserole. I
Oh,
love green bean casserole on Thanksgiving.
dude, you know what? And hey, the watchers at home right now, they could leave a comment and tell us what their favorite meal is for Thanksgiving, and
That's right.
who you guys are gonna think. Tell us if we're wrong, what you guys think, and everything going on.
Yes, and if you don't like pumpkin pie, you can put it in the comments, and then everybody can see how wrong you are. So
Yes.
be sure to engage. All right. So again, before we sign off up here, like, comment, subscribe, and put the alerts on the video so that you get them in real time. We'll get this video up before the Thanksgiving slate, and then we will have our final numbers up before the Thanksgiving kickoff games. Danger, anything you want to add at the last moment?
Only thing I want to add is that we got one more video coming out. Probably not today. Probably later in the week for the Sunday slate. And man,
Mm-hmm.
hey everybody, have a good happy Thanksgiving out there. All right.
Happy
All
Thanksgiving, everybody.
right.